back, guys. We about to just jump straight into it. So now, boom, we still in the hospital, right? So once Baraka leaves the hotel room with his men, all his other men, it was mad at him. Hundreds of dudes start bum rushing the hospital. So now it's just Monroe and Carter. They're trying to get out of the hospital. They shooting people left and right. This boom, 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 boom. The hospital's in a frenzy. Next thing you know, Aries come into the hospital. She pull up and save Carter, right? Miamor was in the ambulance because Baraka wants Miamor. So Carter's also really hurt. Like, he was shot in the chest. Like, he could barely make it. So they get Carter in the ambulance. Miamor is like, frantic. Monroe had ended up staying back to kill a couple guys so Carter could escape. Carter's like, we not leaving here without Monroe. Next thing you know, shit started getting too real. Aries like, we gotta go. They end up pulling off out of the hospital and going to Carter's house. Where they went? They went to either Carter's house or Stash house. I can't remember. And Carter's upset. Carter's like, I'm going back to the hospital. I gotta wait for my brother. No, I'm lying. They end up going back to the casino. They went to the casino first, and then that's when Monroe pulled up to the casino, their little suite, and was like, all right, everybody's relieved that he's okay. So now Carter had passed out because, again, he's fragile and he can't really do much. So when he wakes up, everybody's blaming Miamor for the war that started because Baraka called war on Carter when he wouldn't give up Miamor. So my thing is, like, everybody's blaming Miamor, but nobody's blaming Carter for his role in the situation, right? Yes, Miamor acted out of impulse, but the cause was Carter sleeping with Yasmina and lying to Miamor about it. Because Miamor would have forgiven Carter at the time, but he lied. And then she caught him in the act. Granted, that wasn't his fault, but it was his fault because he chose to get tricked because he was a little moving stupid because of Yasmina and because of the hold that Baraka had on him as far as that being his daughter, right? So if Carter never slept with Yasmina would have never really went too crazy and talked crazy out of her mouth, and she would be alive today. She would be alive today. But no, Carter's like, oh, you started this war. I told you, you acted out of impulse. You don't know what you just did. But he's not really seeing the role that he played in it. And that's why sometimes I say that I just don't have no respect for Carter's character, because sometimes it's like he don't look at himself in the mirror. Like, this is your doing. This is your doing. But anyway, so now Carter's just worried about his kids. He's worried about his wife. He doesn't want to give Miamor up. He really loves Miamor, and he won't be able to live with himself if he hand Miamor over to Baraka. So now Miamor is really thinking about the consequences of her actions, right? So Lena ends up going to California with Carter Jr. and Monroe Jr. hiding out, right? Next thing you know, while the boys was outside shooting hoops, they end up getting kidnapped by Baraka's men. Like, Baraka's men found them. They end up getting kidnapped. So Lena gets kidnapped. Monroe gets kidnapped. Carter Jones gets kidnapped, right? Miamor is thinking about her actions. She's talking to Carter. She's like, yo, Carter, like, I love you. She's just like, no matter what happens, her and Carter being together is dangerous. Like, no matter what happens, because of her, a lot of stuff went down. Like, death follows her, and she's just like, to make it right, she's going to sacrifice herself. So she decides that she's going to sacrifice herself. At first, she had told Carter to shoot her. Carter couldn't pull the trigger. And then she ends up tricking Carter, and she wanted to sacrifice herself. So she agrees to sacrifice herself. So she calls Baraka. She makes a deal with Baraka and was like, I'm coming to sacrifice myself. After everybody finds out that, the Lena's has been kidnapped, the kids have been kidnapped, Carter's just like, yo, my kid. So now, money's going off. Carter's going off because the kids his wife and his son is kidnapped, and Carter Jones is kidnapped, and that's Carter's first child. So, you know, he's just like, my wife and my child. So when Miamor agrees to sacrifice her, everybody's just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you know, go ahead. This is your doing. Like, we just want Lena and the kids back. So because Miamor loves her son, she don't want nothing to happen to her son. She's about to sacrifice herself. So she gets in the car. She's driving on the way to the meetup spot when she gets freaking kidnapped. I'm like, who the is gonna kidnap Miamor on the way to her death? You get what I'm saying? So now Miamor's just like, no. Because at first she thinking it's Baraka's men, and then she's like, why would they come and meet me? And then come to find out, it wasn't Baraka's men, right? So when she wakes up, she finds out that yet, long and behold, she has been kidnapped by murder again. So now she's fucking furious. She's furious because she didn't get to the drop point, and she knows now that Lena is dead. She knows that her son is dead. She knows that Carter's nephew is dead. And she is furious with murder. She's like, you don't know what you just did. My son, you killed my son. Now she's pissed off. She hates murder. Like, she's disgusted. She's just like, what is wrong with you, right? So murder's telling her to calm down. Like, F that. Like, you having the kids make you soft. Like, saying some dumb shit. Like, she don't want to hear nothing. Like, she just got murder in her eyes. And I will have murder in my eyes, too. Like, you don't know what you just did. So now murder's like, oh, you would have never been in this situation if you was with me. You know the dumb shit men be saying. I'm just like, yo, shut up. Your obsession is crazy. You need some help. So anyways, come to find out, hold on one second. Come to find out, Baraka had killed Lena. Like, he dismembered her body in front of her son and her nephew. So Lena's dead, right? And you know, the time is ticking. The kids are dead too. And I'm just like, he didn't really have to kill the kid. So Carter's distraught, Monroe is distraught, right? So Murder allows Miamor to attend the memorial for her son because Murder's like, you know, at the end of the day, that was your son. So Miamor pulls up to the memorial and Monroe wants to kill her. And Carter can't even look at Miamor. He's just like, yo, you know, you and I are done. You got my son killed. I can never forgive you. He believes that Miamor purposely didn't show up to meet Baraka and allow CJ to get killed. But Miamor is breaking down crying like, Carter, I would never do that. Like, I was taken. And Carter doesn't want to hear anything. Monroe doesn't want to hear anything. And before Miamor had left Murder was like, yo, you better come back to me. During this time when Miamor had woke up and found out that Murder kidnapped her, she sees Fly Boogie there. So Miamor was just like, yo, you was in on it. So Fly Boogie was like, oh, you don't understand. Let me explain this, that, and the third. So Miamor was looking at him with fucking pure disgust, right? So now, one second. So after the memorial, I lost my train of thought. After the memorial, Miamor goes back to Murder. The only reason why she went back to Murder because she realized like Murder can protect her. She doesn't have the protection of the cartel, and you know that's kind of like a low key safe haven for her. And you know so she can figure out her next plan. But Miamor is in full depressed mode. Like she's really going through it. Like she can't function. And you know, she's not eating, she's sleeping, she's not showering. Like Murder doesn't know what to do with her because he's never seen her like that. Miamor's never shown her emotions, and she thinks that she's soft. So at the same time, you know, Zaire, after the murders and all that, Zaire and Breeze travel back to Detroit, where there was Zaire and Carter's initially from. They get an apartment, right? So Zaire is, you know, putting little business deals as far as the drug game, selling drugs here and there. He has a you know a luxury car, whatever, that he doesn't allow Breeze to drive. So one day he goes home. Breeze can never find her keys, so she ends up taking his car. She didn't know that he had drugs in the car from a drug deal that he was supposed to do, but the drug deal went wrong. When she leaves the house, she gets pulled over by the feds. She calls Zaire. They're on the phone. Zaire pulls up. He's like, damn. Breeze gets arrested for the drugs that's in the car. They're trying to pin it on Breeze. And Breeze is temporarily in jail. And Zaire's like, yo, I just stuck. Yeah. But at the same time, he always told Breeze not to take his car. You know, and she always thought because it's a nice car, but he carried drugs. So now she didn't listen. She took the car. She's in jail. I'm like, damn, Breeze really could never catch a break. The family can't catch a break, but Breeze, I spill my wine, she can't catch a break. So now, Zaire's trying to figure out what to do, right? At the same time, Carter is now living in the mountains of, I believe it's Colorado too, right? He's in the house, he's depressed, he's distraught over the death of his son. Like, he doesn't want to be around nobody. He leaves the cartel. He's not selling drugs. Like, he's just chilling, right? One day, Zaire decides, like, with the whole situation of Breeze, Zaire has to go pull up on Carter and enlist the help of Carter to help with Breeze. So he gets to the place, a cabin where Carter's hiding out, right? Carter opens the door. They talking or whatever. Zaire really sees that Carter's doing bad. He doesn't tell Carter about Breeze then because he's like, he could sense that something's going on with Carter. So next thing you know, Carter takes a drink, because I said Carter was doing bad, and shoots himself, right? He shoots himself in the goddamn face. So he ends up surviving because the bullet just grazed him. Then Zaire, at the hospital, Zaire decides that he is going to commit Carter into a institution, right? Because of suicide. Because he's like, yo, Carter, this is not the man that I know. Like, you would never do this. Like, you looking real weak right now. So Carter and Zaire end up talking. Carter's like, you know, I had a moment of weakness, but I'm good. Like, I don't want to be in here. So Zaire's like, I'm only going to sign you out if you speak to a therapist. So Zaire introduced Carter to a therapist, right? The therapist is a black young girl. She's pretty, this and the third. So the therapist is like, you know, we're gonna work together, whatever. So the therapist's name is Sam. Carter hires Sam, and Sam ends up moving into the cabin with Carter, you know, just for protection, well, not protection, privacy's sake, right? So at the same time, Breeze had lost a pregnancy previously with Zaire. And she had told Zaire this, that, and the third. No, I'm sorry, my bad. Breeze had lost a baby, right? The baby got caught in the fallopian tube. She didn't tell Zaire about that baby, right? Zaire now is distraught. So I'm gonna tell you why Zaire is distraught. So Zaire is distraught for the simple fact that in order to help save Breeze, he had to make a deal with the feds. Only he knows about the deal. So the deal is that he is going to help bring down the cartel. He's going to be a snitch. He's going to be a snitch. And if you remember, Zaire killed someone for being a snitch. And he's in the same predicament. But the reason the difference is he's not snitching to save himself. He's snitching to save Breeze. So that's different. So I could respect that on that end, but I feel like he should, if he hasn't spoken to Carter. If he's spoken to Carter, you know, beforehand, things could have went different, right? So anyways, so let's get to it. So now, Miamor decides that she's gonna sell her share of the casino. I forgot who she sold it to, right? And at the same time, Fly Boogie and Miamor ends up having a conversation. Miamor low-key was like, you know, Fly Boogie, you're young. I'll get out this life, you know, go live a life, be free. If you're around me, you're going to die. She didn't want him to die because he's so young. So Fly Boogie ends up leaving Miamor. right? So 3 years now has passed, right? She left Fly Boogie on the side of the road after she sold her shares, right? 3 years later, Fly Boogie's doing good for himself. He's actually selling pills and he's made an empire for himself. Like he grew some confidence with the money and all that. He's become somebody, right? So Fly Boogie's connect or whatever had invited him to a gentleman's ball. So at the gentleman ball, he sees Carter Jr. and Monroe Jr. with Baraka. So he puts the pieces together and realized that Baraka never killed the boys, but he made it seem like the boys were murdered, and he's been taking care of the boys the whole time. So no harm has come to the boys. So Fly Boogie's like, I'm gonna get Miamor. This is how I'm gonna get Miamor back, and he can't stand the sight of the boys being with them, and the death of the boys, what it did to the men, to Carter and Monroe. So he devises a plan. So he goes up to I forgot which one. Hold on, let me look at my notes. All right, so he goes to talk to Carter Jr. Carter Jr. recognized Fly Boogie from being around his mom, right? So when Baraka went to the bathroom, Fly Boogie goes into the bathroom. He ends up stabbing up Baraka in the bathroom. Baraka's dead. He takes the two boys. He makes the getaway, right? Monroe, Carter, they're unaware of everything that's going down. The only person who really knows what's going on is Fly Boogie and the two boys. So 3 years later, Miamor and Murder have moved to the Bahamas, right? She still hates Murder, but she still feels like she's still hiding from Baraka, and Murder is just a thing there where she can't stand it. So next thing you know, Fly Boogie creeps up on Miamor in the Bahamas, and she decides that she's gonna leave. So he's trying to tell her like, yo, come with me, this, that, and third, like, what's going on? So Murder then comes up and she starts pleading with Murder like, yo, I need you to let me go, let me be free, like, I don't want to be here, like, you could live your life, this, that, and third. So Murder decides that he can't let Miamor go, right? So Murder shoots Miamor as she's getting ready to walk away. She gets shot right here. Well, you can't point if you can't see, in the abdomen, right? He then turns a gun and shoots himself. Murder suicide. I just don't understand. Fly Boogie takes Miamor to the hospital. She's at the hospital. In the hospital, Fly Boogie's like, somebody wants to meet you. There she sees CJ and Monroe Jr. She's just taken back, surprised, like, what the hell? Fly Boogie tells her the story, what went down, whatever, and she's just, now she feels like she's in debt to Fly Boogie, as far as like she don't love him, but she decided like he really did that for her, right? So now, once Miamor gets out the hospital, she pulls up to Monroe house. She tells Monroe like, yo, somebody wants to meet you. Monroe reunites with his son, and Monroe is just, he forgives Miamor for everything. He's just like, yo, thank you for bringing my son back. Like, I'm mad happy, right? Miamor then pulls up on Carter, and Carter's there with the therapist. They living together, this, that, and third. Of course, Carter and the therapist start having sex, and it's just, a conflict of interest at this point, right? So Miamor tells Carter that, first of all, once Carter opens the door, Carter is shocked to see Miamor. He's like, Miamor, what are you doing here? That's when Miamor sees Sam in the house. Miamor's like, I'm his wife. And then Carter tells Sam go upstairs. Miamor was like, cut to the chase, like, yo, Carter Jr. is alive. She tells him what happened. Carter's like, all right, I'm about to go pull up on my son or whatever, right? So now, Carter's still being like mad disrespectful and shit with Miamor, and mad standoffish and all that extra stuff, right? So now, Miamor ends up, once Carter really says that, he's with somebody else and he can't be with Miamor after he reunites with his son, Carter's like, we could co-parent, but us together, that's a no-no. Like, you know, it's not gonna work. Miamor then tells Carter like, yo, I'm with Fly Boogie. So now Carter's tight. Carter's like, oh, you with the help? You with Fly Boogie? So now he mad. Miamor's like, you dumped me. You didn't want me. It just so happened. It didn't plan. Like, I would leave Fly Boogie right now if you tell me you want me. And Carter's like, oh, nah. Like, he look at her in disgust. Like, he can't believe that she went with Fly Boogie. Miamor is like, yo, it is what it is. Like, I'm learning to love Fly Boogie. Like, he got my son back. This, that, and third. So off the strength of Fly Boogie rescuing Carter Jr., Carter didn't lay hands on Fly Boogie, right? But Fly Boogie feels like he's the man now because he got his own money. He's running his own thing so that Carter can't really push him around. But Fly Boogie don't understand. The aura and the command and respect that Carter has, he will never have. No matter how much money he has, he will never be able to stand in Carter's shoes. He will always be inferior to Carter, right? So now, Carter reconnects with CJ. You know, Carter wants more for CJ. Miamor and Fly Boogie's now living together. Obviously, Carter Jr. is living with his mom and Fly Boogie. Carter is still living up in the mountains, but he's gonna be traveling to California all the time to see his son, right? So now Carter Jr. is running around with what you call it? With Fly Boogie. Monroe is now running the cartel, right? Again. And Zaire is in Detroit, but Zaire still hasn't told anybody about the situation with Breeze. So now at the Monroe throws a welcome back party for the boys. Everybody's in attendance. Sam is in attendance. Sam comes with Carter. Miamor sees Sam again, you know, this and the third. That's when Sam pulls up to Zaire like, yo, I need you to get Carter to re-enter the game. Without Carter, none of this is going to work. Like, we need to arrest Carter. Everybody has to go down. So Zaire's distraught, and he's just like, yo, you going to pull up on me like that? Like, I've already given you intel. Like, it's not guaranteed he's going to enter the game. Because, again, Carter left the game. He's the last piece of the puzzle. And because he refuses to go back into the cartel, Sam doesn't really have the case that she really needs. She wants to take everybody down. She's determined. So now, CJ and, like I said, CJ and Fly is bonding. CJ ends up skipping school. Fly Boogie allows him to skip school. They go to make a run at the sneaker store, whatever. Next thing you know, they get pulled over by the cops. There's guns and pills in the car, right? So Fly Boogie puts the guns and the pills in the car in CJ's backpack, right? CJ takes the backpack, runs through the city, hops on the bus. The bus driver drops him to school. He gets to school. He's trying to put the book bag in his locker. The teacher pulls up. Principal pulls up like, yo, let me see the book bag. They tussle for the book bag. The book bag rips. The guns and pills go flying out. Miamor gets called. Miamor calls Carter. They pull up. Carter is furious, like, yo, you got this little nigga maybe in a bad influence on my son. Miamor is pissed off, right? So now they get back to the house, right? CJ's upstairs. Carter pulls up to the house to confronts Fly Boogie, right? Fly is arrogant, like he thinks he can talk to Carter like crazy. Carter's like, you know, I'm giving you a pass because you helped my son, but don't get this shit twisted, little nigga. Right? So now when Carter leaves, Miamor's talking to Fly Boogie. Fly Boogie decided that he gonna yoke Miamor up in the house. I'm like, yo, Miamor, you about to let this happen? Because Fly Boogie's like, you only real with your guns, but you not real in a fist fight. You can't take me one-on-one. So lo and behold, you know, Miamor got guns laying around throughout the house and shit. Next thing you know, she pull out a gun, she shoot Fly Boogie. Like, what the fuck is you doing? You gonna put your hand, what is you doing? Like, you disposable. So anyways, Miamor then goes to Carter's house. She tells him what went down. Carter decides that, you know, not decides, but he could really realize, like, yo, being with Miamor equals danger, but he loves Miamor. So they end up getting back together. On the way to the airport, Pause real quick. My bad. My bad. Pause. Yeah, so no, I was right. My bad. I'm kind of getting the timeline. So they get back together, right? Something had happened on the way to the airport. Some shit went down. Carter ends up getting kidnapped by a LA boss, right? Oh yeah, because Miamor and Carter's gonna fly back to him to Colorado. They was gonna live there in the cabin and shit, right? So he gets kidnapped by the LA boss. The LA boss told him that, yo, you know, the pill. I heard that your son got caught with pills that I gave to Fly Boogie. Fly Boogie's no more. I'm gonna need you to run that, right? So now Carter has no choice but to re-enter the game to pay back that debt. He has to deliver 1,000 kilos of coke, or they're gonna release pictures of Miamor killing Fly Boogie, because he had some men watching the house, and then they saw that Miamor killed Fly Boogie, and they got evidence. So Carter's like, fuck, like, you know, I'm only doing this to save Miamor, so they won't snitch and shit. But I'm like, damn, like, and again, whenever Miamor's around, they together, his life will always be in danger, or he will always have to do some shit to get out of trouble, right? So now Carter has no choice but to re-enter the game. At the same time, Zaire is distraught again over his betrayal. So Zaire is on a yacht in the middle of the ocean. He's just like, yo, like, I can't do this no more. So he's contemplating killing himself. He hasn't called Breeze all day. Breeze finally calls him. He's getting ready to kill himself. Breeze calls him. He answers. Breeze tells him that she's pregnant. Now Zaire has something to live for. I'm like, damn. Because Breeze could sense that something was wrong with Zaire, but she didn't know what. She doesn't know what's going on. Mind you, my thing is, Breeze, you got arrested with mad coke, and you just running around living your life. What? You never thought to ask, like, what's going on with your case? Like I didn't understand that part in the book. Anyways, so Carter goes to a meeting with Estes, right? So Estes stops supplying Monroe, sir, Carter's brother, with drugs, because he doesn't want to get Monroe. He doesn't want to be the Monroe's dealer. Like, he wants Monroe to get the game. My thing is, in the last book, Estes was snitching. So I'm trying to figure out, how is it that Estes is out here still running shit, and the men are still trying to cop drugs from him and respect him when he was snitching when shit hit the fan. I was just like, how did that, like, go over in the book? Like, Estes was snitching. Like, he was snitching. Like, how was everybody cool? Like, y'all need to explain that one to me. So anyways, Zaire's with Carter, right? So Zaire's wearing a wire and trying to get incriminating evidence with Carter saying something, right? Carter ends up saying some shit about a drop, whatever, on the wire, and that's all Sam needs to get Carter, right? So while Miamor is at the house, sorry guys. While Miamor is at Carter's house, she's throwing Sam's stuff out. She finds Sam had left stuff in the room in the house. She finds a burner phone, Sam's burner phone, she had put in her back pocket, but she don't think nothing of it. Next thing you know, Miamor always thought that Sam was suspicious. Miamor goes to the phone, and Miamor calls a number. When she calls the number, she finds out that Sam is actually a fag, right? So then she also finds that Sam had a hidden USB drive. So then she's just like, oh shit, like, you know, Carter is in trouble. So Miamor tries to call Carter because Carter's supposed to be going to a drop, but he doesn't answer the phone. So Miamor decides that the drop was supposed to occur at a warehouse, right? At one point, Sam had came back to the house to try to get the burner phone and USB, and that's when Miamor was like, I threw your shit out, whatever, right? So then Miamor's trying to get in contact with Carter. Carter's not answering. Carter goes to the warehouse, right? Carter's supposed to go to the warehouse. He's supposed to fly to, I forgot which city he was flying to, drive to the warehouse, right? So Miamor's like, nah, I'm about to go to the warehouse. I'm going to take the fall. because Carter has done so much for me. So now, when Carter lands, Carter's on the flight, Carter touches ground, Zaire calls Carter and warns Carter not to go to the warehouse, right? So Carter's like, you know, what you talking about, my nigga? Like, I know you're not saying what I think you're saying. So Carter already knows Carter's hurt. He's like, yo, you really fucked up, right? So Zaire now Zaire is a rat. Like, Carter knows. So now, Carter just looks at his phone, realizes he missed calls from Miamor. He calls Miamor, and she declines the call because she had left a message like, you know, I'm gonna take the fall, whatever. So now he finds out that Sam is an agent. He finds out that Miamor didn't decline the call. She answers the call. She tells him what's going on, that Sam is an agent. She's about to take the fall for the whole cartel. She loves him, this, that, and the third, take care of her son, all that, you know, this, that, and the third, right? So she gets to the warehouse. Carter's like, no, you know, I'm about to try to save her. He pulls up to the warehouse, but she's already gone. So at the warehouse, Miamor had got arrested. Instead of a kingpin, they got a queenpin, right? And she's taking the fall for the entire freaking cartel. So, I mean, despite everything, Carter respects Miamor for what she did, but he's like, damn, like, she ain't never getting out, right? Next thing you know, next thing you know, the cops is trying to arrest, again, you know, they got incriminating evidence, so they trying to arrest everybody. So the cops go to arrest Monroe, right? They pull up to Monroe's house. Monroe sees everything. Monroe tells his Monroe Jr. to go hide, that he loves him and all that. Monroe gets his gun. He pulls up outside the house. As the cop cars is pulling in, he starts shooting at them. Next thing you know, Monroe gets gunned down in front of his son. Monroe decided he's going to go out like a G because he wasn't going back to jail. So now Monroe Jr. just seen his father get gunned down. Breeze overhears everything on the... Breeze low-key was just like, what's going on? Because before he got gunned down, Monroe called Breeze, like, take care of my son. My son is in the safe room. Come get him. So Breeze is trying to figure out, like, what is going on, right? So now, at the same time, Sam decides, the agent Sam, she's like, you know, she goes home after a long day of busting and arresting people, that she's going to relax. So now, when she gets home, she got a beer in her hand thinking about she about to relax. Guess who's waiting for her ass? Ares. So now Ares is waiting for Sam. Ares kills Sam, slits her throat like, yo, you took the last family that I had. How dare you? You think you bad guys, my phone died. So anyways, Ares kills Sam. She didn't even get to reap the benefit of her hard police work, right? So Zaire is going through it too, right? So Breeze is like trying to find she's trying to find her keys, because she's trying to get rushed to go get Monroe Jr. because again, Money called Breeze to come get his son, right? So as what she was looking for, hold on, I got you right now. She's looking for her keys. She was looking in the drawer, and as she was looking through the drawer, she sees a picture, right? And then on the picture, it's stating that, you know, on the picture there's a message. It was saying if you don't cooperate, some shit about to happen. The cartel will fall, something like that, right? So Breeze sees it. Zaire sees Breeze looking at the picture. He's like, "What are you doing?" Long story short, he ends up telling Breeze, like, you know, everything, right? He's like, "I did it for you." Breeze is like, I can't have this baby. Like, I'm not gonna have no baby. Like, I don't forgive you. Like, everything that just happened is your fault. So Breeze leaves the house because she's distraught. She can't believe that Zaire was snitched. Like, he was a man of morals and principles. As she leaves the house, Zaire, she hears a gunshot and she knows that Zaire just shot herself, right? And she don't feel nothing. She just can't believe that he would do that, betray. Right? She was like, you should have talked to me about it first. At the same time, Carter is on the run in Barcelona. And Miamor is on trial. Right? And he's just like, yo, what the fuck? So Carter has a burner phone. So in Barcelona, so he communicates with Breeze. Breeze has the kids, right? So Zaire actually survives the suicide. He's living somewhere else, but Breeze hasn't seen him, right? And Carter's like, I understand why Zaire did it. He did it to protect you. I wish he would have just spoke to me sooner. It could have went differently, right? At the same time, Carter is on the phone, and then he hears SWAT coming to Bree's crib and arrest her for tax evasion. So now Carter's like, yo, I gotta go help Breeze. So Carter rushes out from his hotel room in Barcelona. He gets in the cab, right? When he gets in the cab, he gets injected with something. When he gets injected with something, he wakes up in the room. Now he wakes up in the room surrounded by other people who have been injected. When the blindfolds and all that extra stuff is taken off, he realizes he's in the room with other powerful people, entrepreneurs. The Illuminati kidnaps Carter and these people, and they offer them a deal. He's just like, we need you are people that we need to run a business. We want to sell a new drug. We need you guys to help put the drugs on the street and make us money. So Carter's just like, damn. So the book ends with Carter. I think Carter's gonna accept the Illuminati deal. But Carter's also focused on his sister and Miamor being on trial, and that's how book 6 ends. I haven't read 6 books. I haven't read book 7, book 8 yet. I'm going to read them, but next book review is going to be book 7 whenever I decide to read it. Well, until then, that is the book review for book 6 of the Cartel series, and we get into it. If you want me to review something, read a book, drop it in the comments, and until next time, your girl is out.